I'm going to try to break this up into sections. I don't know if it's for the sake of myself or what would possibly be consumable as we kind of go through this epic journey through the Bible, or if it'll just make it easier to upload things and navigate them. But I cut this last section kind of in between Noah's story. So we got introduced, we're through chapter 7 now, to a pretty quick turn of events. Creation of Adam and Eve, the creation of the earth itself, the creation of man, and then pretty quickly God's sadness with man already, his creation, and he has created this flood. Covenant with Noah to create the boat, the ark, filled with his family and 2 of every beast. Rain 40 days and 40 nights, and chapter 7 ended with the waters prevailing upon the earth and everything dying other than what was on the ark. So the Bible certainly doesn't shy away from telling a pretty epic and violent story off of the bat. So we'll continue with Genesis chapter 8. And here we go. And God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. The fountains also of the deep and of the windows of the heaven were stopped, and the rain from the heaven was restrained. And the waters returned from off of the earth continually. And after the end of 150 days, the waters were abated. And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountain of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. And in the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And it came to pass, at the end of 40 days, that Noah opened up the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up off the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him, to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark. The waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her, and pulled her unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet other 7 days. And again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. The dove with the olive leaf. So Noah knew that there were waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. And it came to pass in the 600th of the 1st year, in the 1st month, in the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. In the 2nd month, on the 7th and the 20th day of the month, was the earth dried. And God spoke unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl, and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. That is still my favorite thing. That they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon the earth. And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth. So many creepers. And their kinds went forth out of the ark. And Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled a sweet savor, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more, for man's sake, For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more every living. Never again will I smite any more everything living, as I have done. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, one day and night shall not cease. Chapter 9 is the covenant with Noah. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. Yes, sir. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand they are delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things. So every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things. I think people have probably taken a lot of options with that one. We've done a lot with that. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. I'm not sure, but I think that means don't eat people. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. And at the hand of man, and the hand of every man's brother, will I require the life of man. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God made he man. And you, be ye fruitful, and multiply. Bring forth abundantly in the earth, and multiply therein. And God spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, And I, behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of the flood, neither shall any more be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, This is the token of the covenant, which I make between me and you, and every living creature that is with you, for perpetual generations. We have a covenant. I do not set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of the covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. I'm saying bow, it's spelled bow. It might be bow. I'm going to have to look into that one. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and the waters shall be no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And when the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. I think there's that's the problem with not having anyone to talk to. There's certainly someone who has done extensive research into that. I think it's important to know what the sign of the covenant with God is. But that will be the purpose, I suppose, of reading this. And God said unto Noah, This is the token of the covenant, which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem and Ham and Japheth, and Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the three sons of Noah, and of them the whole earth overspread. Canaan cursed, Shem blessed. Still chapter 9. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. And he drank of the wine. There you go, wine comes in page 8 of the Bible. And he drank of the wine and was drunken. And drunkenness comes one sentence after. And he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both of their shoulders and went backwards, and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. So they walked into his tent backwards to cover him. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew that his younger sons had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall be unto his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. And all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. And that is the end of chapter 9. Chapter 10, Descendants of Noah's son. I don't know if this will be another history lesson. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, and Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were the sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tiras. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Rippeth, and Torgama. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families, in their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sabta, and Ramah, and Saptakah, and the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. I suppose these all point in directions for you to find much more about each of these individuals. And Cush began Nimrod, and he began be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, it's hard not to think of Green Day, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, man, this is tough, in the land of Shinar. And out of that land went forth Asher, and builded Nineveh, in the city Rehoboth, and Calah. And Rezin between Nineveh and Calah, the same is a great city. And Mizraim begot Ludum, and Anamim, and Lahabim, and Naphtuhim. It doesn't look like this goes on too much longer. And Pathrusim and Casluhim, out of whom came Philistim, and Caphtorim. And Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgasite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite. And the Arvadite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite, and after were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, and thou comest to Gerar, unto Gaza. And thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah, finally some familiar names, and Admah and Zeboam, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, and in their nations. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, and the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, and Ashur, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. Got another 4 verses until the Tower of Babel. And unto Eber were born 2 sons, and the name of one was Peleg. For in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begot Almadad, and Sheleph, and Hazarmaveth, and Jerah. and Hadaram, and Uzal, and Diklah, and Obal, and Abimael, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jabab. All of these were the sons of Joktan. And their dwelling was from Mesha, and thou goest unto Sephir a mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem, after their families, after their tongues, in their lands, after their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, in the nations. By these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. I have lost all conception of time. I have no idea how long that took me to read. Okay, not terrible. I think that was like 12 minutes. So we'll go into 11, chapter 11, Genesis, the Tower of Babel. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. Wouldn't that be nice? And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, where they dwelt there. It's Plain, plains. And they said to one another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. Brick and slime. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see that the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they began to do, and now they will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Interesting. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of the earth. The descendants of Shem, still chapter 11. These are the generations of Shem. Oh, this one goes deep. Genesis has some epic stories, and then it just slams in these. There's a lot of people. So here we go. These are the descendants of Shem. Okay. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begot Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begot Arphaxad 500 years and begot sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 530 years and begot Salal. And Arphaxad lived after he begot Salal 403 years and begot sons and daughters. And Salal lived 30 years after he begot Eber. And Salal lived after he begot Eber 403 years and begot sons and daughters. And Eber lived 34 years and begot Peleg. And Eber lived after he begot Peleg 430 years and begot sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begot Reu. And Peleg lived after he begot Reu 209 years and begot sons and daughters. And Reu lived 32 years and begot Serug. And Reu lived after he begot Serug 207 years and begot sons and daughters. After Serug lived 30 years and begot Nahor. And Serug lived after he begot Nahor 200 years and begot sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 29 years and begot Terah. And Nahor lived after he begot Terah 119 years and begot sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begot Lot. Just a couple more verses till this is finished. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. But Sarah was barren. She had no child. There's a stark contrast to that sequence. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, first in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go unto the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran, and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. I think that's a good place for a break. It started with the completion of Noah, so I guess everyone here is now being fruitful and multiplying. We're now, all descendants of Adam and Eve, as Noah was a descendant of them, but then even more so after everyone was consolidated onto the ark, direct descendants of Noah from as it stands. So a lot of history, story, history, story, history. I don't want to skip anything because you never know. That Sarai was barren. She had no child. A lot of stark contrast. So I hope you enjoyed that. We'll continue with the call of Abram, which is Genesis chapter 12. In this Bible, page 10. So making a little bit of progress.